there you are. I was wondering when your little white boy ass was going to show itself in El Culero again. What in the fuck took you so long, idiot? We've got food that semi-resembles Mexican food, and it's cheap enough to where you could and should be eating here every single meal. Besides, we've got a new chili cheese nacho mucho grande chimichanga roll-up you can try. But you can't try it until you waddle your chunky thighs into our restaurant, order the new chili cheese nacho mucho grande chimichanga roll-up, and then pay for it. And not a moment sooner. Loser. El Culero. Cállate y come.
Live from somewhere you're not, it's KPBC News with your lead anchor, Anchor Cat.
Greetings, I'm Anchor Cat, and these stories are the ones our corporate ownership gave us permission to tell you about. In our top story, authorities in the area are telling media outlets that this morning, after days of being missing, Lake Superior is back where it's been for thousands of years. While locals are relieved to see Lake Superior back where it belongs, there is some disagreement about whether the giant lake was ever actually missing, or if Filbert von Schlegelmeister, Wisconsin's official state cartographer, accidentally deleted it from official state maps and simply did a Control-Z once he figured out what he'd done. We'll follow the story closely and bring you an update once we have one. Next, researchers at the National Institute of Scientific Study released the findings of a series of experiments they did recently. In the report, Dr. Benson Hornady posits a new theory about why people who smelt it have a hard time admitting that they're the ones who dealt it. It turns out there's a genetic predisposition many viewers might not be aware of. This weekend on MedGab, our weekly roundup of all the news in medicine, we'll talk to Dr. Hornady about this fascinating new study. That was my chair. Speaking of embarrassing public flatulence, former New York City Mayor Rudy Giuliani is facing likely disbarment from the Washington, D.C. Bar Association. While many feel it would be quite a major black mark on Giuliani's legal career, those closest to Donald Trump's former attorney say he's most upset that he'll have to find a bar just outside the city limits that will serve him. Our own legal expert, Larry McTerry, joins us now to discuss this development. Larry, thanks for joining us.
My pleasure, as always, Anchor Cat.
Please, call me Mr. Anchor Cat. Larry, other than the implications of being disbarred might have for his liver, what are the other things that might change for Rudy should the DC Bar Association throw him out? Will he still be able to practice law?
Well, any place that hasn't disbarred him will allow him to keep practicing law there. But from what I'm hearing from my friends in the biz, Giuliani's going to quit practicing law altogether because he's taken a job with SpaceX. Apparently, Elon Musk is convinced that if he connects Giuliani's rectum to a tube, he can then siphon all the gas that comes out into a SpaceX rocket, and he could probably send it to Pluto and back 5 times on a single fart.
Wow. Do keep us posted if you get any more information on that, Larry. And now it's time for a station break. We'll be right back with more news. This week on the series finale of Business Casual. I just can't do it anymore, folks. You can't really have it all, no matter how hard you try. So I'm resigning as chairman of the board and CEO effective immediately, and no one can stop me. Not even you, Billy. Billy, stop it. Everything's gonna be fine, Billy, stop crying. Billy. Hey everybody, Joe Christian Republican here, and I've got 6 ways you can tell God hates socialism and only believes in 2 genders despite not being able to find any passages like that in the Bible. Okay, here we go. Hi kids, it's me, your old pal Fred, and I just want to tell you that if you're the mayor of Flavortown and you get photographed throwing down at a UFC event with a guy who's not only been found to be legally liable for raping and defaming his rape victim, but is also going to go to jail for being the first president to violate the Espionage Act and perform a failed coup, you don't have to tell us what Flavortown tastes like. We can already tell that it tastes like white supremacy, treason, and Donald Trump's dick. Okay, see you next time.
Welcome back to Do You Know About This Shit, though? 30 seconds on the clock. Gary, can you name 5 differences between Michael Jackson and Matt Walsh?
5 differences? Oh, geez.
For $16 million. No pressure, Gary. Your time starts now.
Okay, 1. Michael Jackson wrote Thriller. Matt Walsh thinks it's thrilling when 16-year-old girls get knocked up. 2. Michael Jackson had a cult of personality. Matt Walsh is in a cult and has no personality. 3. Michael Jackson had a skin condition that turned it white. Matt Walsh is a white nationalist. 4. Michael Jackson married multiple women to hide his true self. Matt Walsh so far only has one beard that's not on his face. And last, oh gosh.
10 seconds, Gary.
I know this.
5 seconds, Gary. Oh, Gary, I'm so sorry. That sound means the lightning round is over, and not only did you not win the $16 million prize, but you actually owe us $10,000. Please see our payments secretary, Billy, on your way out of the studio, Gary.
Welcome back. In our next story, the so-called whistleblower that House Republicans like Representatives James Comer and Jim Jordan promised the American people would provide testimony about Hunter and Joe Biden's alleged criminal behavior has been indicted by the Department of Justice on a handful of charges, one of which being that he attempted to bribe Trump administration officials on behalf of China. We take you out now to DC reporter Skip Tumalou, who was just at a press conference held by Comer and Jordan. Skip.
That's right, AC. Moments ago, Comer and Jordan just finished their press conference. They blasted the DOJ for indicting their fake whistleblower just because they have real evidence of his crimes before their whistleblower could fabricate his evidence against the Biden family. Congressman Comer assured the American people, however, that he and Jordan wouldn't stop sucking Donald Trump's balls publicly until they found someone who wasn't a Chinese spy that could also lie convincingly. From here in DC, I'm Skip Tumalou. Back to you, Anchor Cat.
Thanks, Skip. Police in Greendale, Michigan say they've finally caught a criminal that's been evading authorities for decades. Let's take you out there now for a report from our own Darren Barron. Darren.
Anchor Cat, for more than 35 years, police across the country have looked for a man who, though rather small in stature, is capable of stealing vast amounts of Cookie Crisp cereal. Despite years of engaging with the public and offering countless awards for information leading to his arrest, Sammy Hornblatz, otherwise known as the Cookie Crook, has evaded capture. That is, until today.
Folks, we got him. Our long national nightmare is over, and, more importantly, cookie-based cereals are just a little safer now that we have Mr. Hornblatz in custody.
Where was he this whole time?
Oh, well, that's actually kind of the wild part. This was an inside job. Or I guess I should say it was an outside job, because he was just right on the outside of the cereal box the whole time. Man, do we feel silly now.
Sergeant Gonads told us that because Cookie Crook was not a person of color, authorities were able to peacefully negotiate with him to put his semi-automatic rifle down, get in the waiting squad car, stop at Denny's for a grand slam breakfast, get a quick handjob from one of the arresting officer's wives under threat of severe beating later at home when his shift was over, and then taken into custody without further incident. Back to you, Anchor Cat.
We'll pause right here for a commercial break and be right back in a bit.
Having a hard time pooping?
Yeah,
You know they make stuff you can take to help you go poop.
I don't want to give Big Pharma more money.
Maybe try drinking a big cup of coffee?
I don't want to be antsy all day after.
Well, that leaves you with just one option then.
Paying someone to dig the turds out of my butt?
That is an option we hadn't really thought of before, but no, we were thinking of something else.
I'm sorry, who's we exactly?
Your friends at Butt Plunge. That's who.
Butt plugs?
I thought it was your butthole that was clogged. No, not butt plugs. Butt Plunge. The only FDA-approved rectal plunger.
How does it work?
Exactly how it sounds. You put butt plunge on your butthole and plunge. It literally couldn't be any simpler than if
I had paid someone to dig the turds out of my butt?
That's right. So, can I put you down for a butt plunge order today?
Definitely. On second thought, I'm not gonna need butt plunge after all.
Anyone can open a theme park and dump billions of dollars into it and make it a high-tech wonderland of magic, fun, and memories. Any company can design and engineer rides and attractions that are interactive, immersive, and cutting-edge experiences. And any company can charge you hundreds of dollars a day for the privilege of entering their park and doing it all. But it takes real vision to buy an abandoned theme park and pay people to come visit it, and that's what I did. So please, come to Jack's Theme Park in Port Harbor Bay, Idaho, and hang with me. Seriously, I'm so lonely I bought an old abandoned theme park, and now I want you to come hang out in it with me. And before you ask, I'm not trying to just lure people here on the promise of a free abandoned amusement park only to bully them into helping me repair and restore it and not pay them for their time or labor. I don't know who told you that, but I'm sure it was my ex-business partner, and she can't be trusted because she's trying to take me to the cleaners in our divorce. Anyway, Jack's Theme Park in beautiful Port Harbor Bay, Idaho. Come on and join the fun. And for a limited time only, you'll get a free hard hat, shovel, and power tools, all of which could be used to fix up a broken down amusement park. But hey, it's a free country. Do what you want with that stuff. Welcome back. Let's take you out now to Greenpoint, Mississippi. There, Mark Chatham, who is a self-described incel, told us something rather interesting about his lifestyle.
Look, all I'm saying is that maybe I wouldn't be such a sexist incel who hated women if one of them would just come over to my house, make me food, and cater to my every emotional whim. That's all.
We'll bring you the rest of our interview with Mark during this weekend's MAGA Thought segment, which you can see every Friday during our 7 o'clock broadcast. Next, as we reported earlier, House Republicans like Representative James Comer and Marjorie Taylor Greene were dealt an embarrassing blow when the whistleblower they were touting as having evidence of crimes committed by Hunter and Joe Biden was indicted by the Department of Justice on several charges, one of which that he attempted to bribe Trump administration officials on behalf of China. Let's take you out now to DC reporter Bert Thompson, who just spoke to Comer and Greene as they walked to their congressional offices after the weekly Freedom Caucus rub and tug. Bert? Yes, Anchor Cat. In the past 15 minutes, I've spoken to both Comer and Greene. And just how much embarrassment did they express? None. Shame? Oh, Anchor Cat. You know scientists have proven Republicans have literally no shame. They're not medically capable of it. Good point, Bert. In our next story, Iowa Republicans waited until the dead of night recently and passed a 6-week abortion ban. For reference, 6 weeks is before most women even know they're pregnant, and in Iowa, it's before most women know they're sleeping with their cousin. In a related story, the Scientific Institute of America released the findings of a study of red state abortion bans they recently completed. When we analyze the data, one thing becomes very clear. In the states where abortion has been banned, the number of children born to parents who are also siblings has skyrocketed. And I would hope we still live in a world where that is alarming, but considering Donald Trump keeps going up in the Republican polls every time he is indicted, I have given up presuming that people are generally intelligent. Let's take a quick break, and we'll be right back. In the digital age, we understand you have more choices than ever when it comes to sending money and paying for what you buy at retail locations. But when you need to send money to an underage girl you're sex trafficking, there's only one online payment processor you can trust. It's the one that will let you call those sex trafficking payments tuition help or a pizza party. So whether you want to pay for sex with a minor in a more socially acceptable way, or you want to accept bribes by having your aides take money from lawyers with business before the Supreme Court, trust Venmo to get the job done right.
Welcome back to
Pop It Up.
Hi everyone, it's time for Stupid Monster's Stupid Phrase of the Day. And today's stupid phrase is woke. But it wasn't stupid before we religious conservatives started using it. In fact, it used to be a smart way that people of color in this country would be able to identify who understood their struggles and who chose to ignore them. But now, we made woke stupid because it pretty much means everything we don't like and or it's code switching for being anti-LGBTQ, racist, or generally very reliant on white privilege. Now we'll use it in a sentence for you. My kids don't think my jokes with the N-word in them are funny anymore because they're woke millennial Gen Z lib cucks. And now you can use woke just like Stupid Monster.
Welcome back. Major League Baseball announced today that it was going to make some major rule changes next season after receiving feedback from players and fans. Most notably, the infield fly rule has been changed to the infield fly down rule, and now if players pop the ball up in the air and it doesn't go past the infield while runners are in scoring position, the batter has to unzip his fly and pull his dick out. Also, live batting practice will be done with live grenades. Fans are still encouraged to come out early and watch BP and maybe take home a souvenir live grenade if it doesn't go off. Next, Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene has filed a bill that, if passed and signed by President Biden eventually, would make it illegal for any country to join NATO until both she and Congresswoman Lauren Boebert can spell NATO. It's unclear if her bill will get to the floor for a vote, but Greene did tell reporters today that she'll show Speaker Kevin McCarthy his balls in the jar she keeps them in to remind him who's really in power now, and she expects to see her proposed bill brought up the next time the House Insurrectionary Committee meets, sometime next week. Down in the nation's floppy dong, former classmates of Governor Ron DeSantis told NSNBC that his feud with Disney is very, very personal. Greg, you've been friends with Governor DeSantis for quite some time, and you told our producers that you know for a fact his anger towards Disney is far more personal and stems from a beef that's almost 3 years old now. Can you tell us what you told your producers?
Yeah, it all started when he took our families to Disney World. All of us wanted to take our kids on Space Mountain, but when Ron couldn't meet the minimum height requirement, he stamped his feet and cried so hard. His wife had to buy him a Mickey balloon to calm him down. And ever since then, Ron has despised Disney World and Disney in general for hurting his feelings. That's what motivates him the most, actually. His hurt feelings.
Recently, a small bag of cocaine was found in the West Wing of the White House, while President Biden was away for the weekend. After investigating the situation, the FBI announced that they could not positively identify whose cocaine it was. Shortly after the announcement was made, the Biden administration told us Donald Trump Jr. emailed President Biden directly and offered to, quote, take that booger sugar off your lib groomer hands, unquote. According to the White House, Biden laughed and told Don Jr. that he thought he was an okay guy, even if his father didn't, and never, ever will. Then Biden told the former president's son that he's transferred the White House subscription to Ivanka Trump's OnlyFans account under Donald Trump Jr.'s name and hung up. It's time now again for entertainment news with Gil Fishman. Gil, recently the actors of SAG-AFTRA have joined the Writers Guild of America in their strike. The artists are looking for studios and content streaming companies to give them a better financial share of the revenues brought in by the stories they tell. Have you heard anything about how studios, TV networks, and streaming companies will react if they're unable to reach an agreement and production on TV shows and movies come to a screeching halt?
Well, Acre Cat, I'm being told by a handful of executives at TV networks that they intend to show reruns of Golden Girls and The Biggest Loser around the clock. But one executive at a movie studio I spoke to said that he and his fellow board members are willing to wait this strike out, no matter how dire the consequences.
Of course, dire consequences for the actors and writers. There won't be any consequences for me, though. I am a white, middle-aged, rich man. I can literally only fail upwards. There's truly nothing that anybody, anywhere can do to stop me from being the asshole who lets writers' kids starve.
Just after I got done interviewing Mr. Saxon, as I was leaving his company's building, an angry mob stormed past me with a guillotine. Not sure what that's about, but I'm sure some kind of justice was done, Anchor Cat.
Thanks for checking in with us, Gil. It's time for another station break. We'll be right back. Tired of living in the past? Do you wake up every day and see a racist reminder of the kinds of assholes you live near and around? Do you have a statue or monument that you would like to get rid of, but the good old Proud Boys in your town keep holding tiki torch rallies to defend it? We can help. We're Sherman Monument Destruction. We'll march into any town and won't leave until we burn every single solitary remnant of those traitorous racist statues into a pile of ash. Call us at 199-SHERMAN or log on to www.wtsdemo.com and let us help you get rid of that nasty stain in your town once and for all. If you loved dude fucking, then you're not going to want to miss Real TV's spin-off sensation everyone's talking about,
Fucking
Dude!
Fucking Dudes, right after Dude Fucking every Thursday at 11 p.m. only on Real TV. In our final story, cleanup crews are still on the scene, and the people who organized the first annual speed sharding tournament are reportedly in hiding, worried about a mountain of lawsuits coming their way. What was supposed to be a day of family-friendly fun and entertainment turned sour, putrid, and traumatizing. Authorities say that 24 people are still buried in the foul, soupy swamp that was created at the Los Nachitos racetrack where the speed sharding tournament was held. Our own Fred Fritz was there covering the tournament for this weekend sports roundup, and he'll have the messy details, including who actually actually won the tournament Saturday at 10:30 Eastern. And that's going to close out this broadcast. From all of us here at KPBC News, thank you for watching. And as I always say, oh sweet Jesus fucking Christ almighty, did Fred not shower off before he came back to the studio? I think I better go before I...
Poutine has cheese, okay? Let me just repeat that for any Neanderthals out there who might need to hear it again. Poutine has cheese.
We now return to old vintage C-SPAN documentaries you can spank to if you're into that sort of thing. There will be no further commercial interruptions.
View, which is the eastern end of the Grand Canyon. And it's called Desert View because when you look to the east, you're looking out into the painted desert.
I am a pro-life, Christ-loving patriot. And that's why I tell jokes about throwing people out of helicopters because they want to raise taxes on people who have more money than I'll ever have. And that we need to give every third grade teacher a semi-auto rifle once we verify they aren't teaching kids accurate history or making them feel comfortable no matter what pronouns they or their parents use. Oh, also, a couple weeks ago I had a motorcycle accident and wasn't wearing a helmet, so half my brain fell out. But I'm not really sure why I'm bringing that up right now.
Not that I need a reason given this is America, but maybe here in the heartland we use tactical nukes and carpet bombs on varmints, critters, and other animals we don't want on our property, like people who don't want to take us back to the 19th century politically speaking, and also shall not be infringed.